This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in someone else's nostalgia trip, and I've seen Turning Red, a new animated coming of age comedy type deal from director Domee Shi. It follows Mei Lin, a 13-year-old Chinese Canadian girl trying to live a normal life as an energetic overachiever, balancing her time with school friends with her work at her family's temple. She manages well, but it's somewhat destabilized by her mother's overbearing behavior and their disagreements, leading to embarrassment and high emotions. Those emotions build up and culminate one night when Mei Lin is transformed into a giant red panda, an ability passed down over the generations and now seen as an inconvenience to be sealed away by ritual. However, Mei Lin finds that her friends and others around her are more accepting of the ability than she or her family expected, leading her to have to figure out whether or not to embrace the changes going on. The whole story feels pretty well rounded, hitting on pretty standard plot points for sure, but with enough creative attention to the structure and flow of events that it doesn't become a distraction, which is what I found to be the case with Luca, the previous film to have come from Pixar, and also the studio behind Turning Red. It may seem a bit unnecessary to single them out like this, but given their history and the general creative downturn, it feels like it has to be brought up. And it's worth bringing up because this movie manages to feel fresher and more refined than the predecessor. I chalk it up to the actual character development at hand, as it's the relationships between Mei Lin and those around her that actively push the events along, and give the film its coming-of-age subtext as she grows out of the expectations set up for her by her mother, with the red panda itself pretty clearly symbolic of both the change in her personality and physical changes. It's a pretty simple theme, and the transformative metaphor has been done before in plenty of other stories, but it's still universal enough on its own and is balanced well enough between the symbolic fantasy elements and the actual character conflict going on that the final film can appeal to anybody outside of the target demographic. At least, I assume I'm outside the target audience. Anyways, Turning Red makes itself appealing on a visual level as well, with a great art design that's not only able to bring the fantasy elements and the surrounding reality together rather well, but is also able to bring you down to Mei Lin's unique perspective, initially through her literal narration, but more through the film's imagery over time. There's a lot of attention given to lighting and color direction, from pastel cityscapes and a bright, saturated atmosphere, to stylized nighttime shots that seem to do more to just look pretty, but still get the job done. There's some further shots in the movie that ramp up these technical elements through short and exaggerated visuals and images, but that's a choice that doesn't persist throughout the entire story, sticking to more natural ideas instead. Beyond the actual look of the film, though, there isn't too much else to say. Not because there's nothing of note, but because the other technical elements are generally invisible, in that they obviously contribute to the film, but don't do too much to push the story or its themes along. The directorial touch, so to speak, seems to fall more into the visual art style itself, and even more gets put into the story. That said, it shows how personal Mei Lin's story is to the filmmakers, and also acts as a testament to their own skill in making it something larger than themselves, if that makes sense. Turning Red. Domee Shi, 2022. 4 stars. I definitely recommend giving it a watch. That's it for me. If you liked this review, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I'm just glad Pixar didn't play it safe again like they did with Luca. Hopefully they keep it up.